Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Today we have a new lesson for second secondary grade, second semester, English subject, 4A listening, speaking, writing, Traveler 4. This lesson is prepared by Mr. Muhammad al-Buhairi and presented by Muhammad al-Athaymin. Today, we will practice listening for specific information through a multiple matching exercise. Then we will practice speaking for giving advice. After that, we will practice writing letters for giving advice. Warm-up. What is the strangest dream you have ever had? Do you have strange dreams? Of course, I think that you have a strange dream. But what is the strangest dream you have ever had? In your opinion, how important are dreams? Do you think that dreams are important or unimportant? To what extent that they are important? Do you think that they mean and or can reveal something about a person's past, present, or future? Now, you will hear 5 different people giving their views on dreams. Choose from the list A to F the statement that each speaker would most agree with. Use the letters only once. There is one extra letter which you don't need to use. So let's read the statements. A. Dreams can reveal hidden parts of people's personalities. B. Dreams are mainly the result of ordinary experiences. C. Scientists should study dreams to find out more about how people's minds work. D. Sometimes it is better to ignore your dreams. E. Dreams are a valuable guide to how we live our lives. F. Sometimes dreams can lead to a discovery. Now, let's listen to 5 speakers and match them to their own letters.
Speaker 1.
My grandmother used to scare us all the time by saying her dreams could predict the future. I used to believe her when I was a child, but now I try not to think about dreams too much. The funny part is, sometimes I think I have dreams that predict the future too. I remember once I had a very vivid, disturbing dream about some people playing in a river. There was a small waterfall close to them. Suddenly, a great burst of water came down the waterfall and swept them away. The next day, I saw on the news that several people had been killed in a river in a flood. Still, I think the best thing is to forget dreams like that, because even if they are true, they don't tell you enough about what is going to happen.
Now, what is the statement that speaker 1 would most agree with? Is it A, B, C, D, E, or F? Let's revise D. Sometimes it's better to ignore your dreams. Do you think that speaker 1 agree with D? Yes, so speaker 1 would most agree with statement D. Now, let's listen to the second speaker.
Speaker 1.
My grandmother used to...
Speaker 2.
I never used to believe that dreams had any meaning. I'm a scientist, a biologist, and I believe in what I can see and observe. But recently I had a very surprising dream, and I made a discovery as a result. Let me explain. In my lab, I'd been trying to find the gene that causes a heart defect in mice. I'd noticed that when some mice were born, they had really small ears. But I didn't think that was important, so I ignored it. Then, one night, I dreamt that I was at a funeral with all of my family. The strange part was, we all had very small ears. I was quite puzzled when I woke up, and I tried to figure out why I had dreamt that. A few days later, I realized that the gene that causes the small ears in the mice was also the one that caused the heart defect.
Yes, now, what about speaker 2? Is it A, dreams can reveal hidden parts of people's personalities? B, dreams are merely the result of ordinary experiences? C, scientists should study dreams to find out more about how people's mind work? D, sometimes it's better to ignore your dreams? E, dreams are a valuable guide to how we live our lives? Or F, sometimes dreams can lead to a discovery? Yes, excellent. It is F. So, with speaker 1, the speaker 1 can say the statement F or can agree with statement F. Let's continue.
Speaker 3.
I think dreams are interesting because they tell us things about people that we can't find out any other way. We all have something that we want to hide, even from ourselves. But when we dream, those secrets are revealed. That's why I like to use dreams in my novels. For example, there's this man who has a very normal, ordinary life. He goes to work, drives his kids to school, has hobbies. There's nothing unusual about him at all. But he has dreams where he is an astronaut exploring outer space, or he is climbing Mount Everest. Through his dreams, we see he has a whole side to him that we would never guess existed.
Yes, what about the third speaker? Excellent. The answer is A. Dreams can reveal hidden parts of people's personality. Let's continue with the fourth speaker.
Speaker 4.
Once I dreamt that there was a baby bird in our garden, and it was flying around close to the house. My sister and I tried to catch it, but it would fly away, and we would spend a long time looking for it. Then we would see it again. Finally, I caught it, and I realized it didn't look at all like a normal bird. It wasn't actually alive. It was a fake, made out of rubber or something. Then I woke up. I was confused by this dream, but I'm trying hard to figure it out because I think dreams can tell us how to live our lives. I think the bird represents someone in my life who is going to betray me, because when I caught it, I saw that the bird wasn't what it appeared to be. I wonder who it is.
Yes, now what about speaker 4? She said, our dreams guide to how we live our lives. She said that. So, she should agree with this statement. So, the letter of speaker 4 is E. Now, let's continue with the last speaker.
Speaker 5.
My friends drive me crazy by talking about their dreams for hours and trying to find out what they mean. They insist that everything they dream has some deep meaning. Actually, scientists have figured out that dreams are usually caused by our most ordinary experiences. For example, if you read a book, you might see the main character in a dream a few days later. Or if you put some fruit in a glass bowl, you might dream you are wearing the glass bowl on your head. The reason for this seems to be that dreams are made out of recent memories. Most likely, your dreams have nothing to do with your deepest thoughts and experiences, but just the things you do every day.
Now, what do you think is the answer? B or C? Of course, the answer is B. So these are the answers. with speaker 1 D, speaker 2 F, speaker 3 A, speaker 4 E, and speaker 5 B. Now we are moving to the speaking part. First of all, what can people do to protect their eyesight? What can they do? Of the 5 senses, which do you think is the most important? I will show you suggested answers. The answer of the first question, which is what can people do to protect their eyesight? In order to protect their eyesight, don't spend many hours watching TV. Wear sunglasses to protect your eyes from the sun's harmful rays. Have your eye checked regularly by a specialist. Take time to rest your eyes, especially if you work on a computer every day. The second question, of 5 senses, which do you think is the most important? I consider both hearing and seeing equally important. I don't know what is worse, living in silence or living in darkness. I think that a person's experience of the world is incomplete without these senses. Now we are going to talk about writing. We're going to study how to write an advice. Are you or any members of your family allergic to anything? Allergic means that if you come close to something or if you touch something, you have a problem. We call it in Arabic حساسية. To anything? If yes, what symptoms do you or do they have? Symptoms is what can you see on your skin, your eye, your nose, what can you feel? We call it al-a'rad. How would you feel if you were allergic to something in your home? What would you do about it? Exercise. In this exercise, we are going to read a person complaining or having a problem, and we are going to try to solve it for him. Let's read his letter. The past few months, I've been sneezing a lot and having watery eyes and strange rashes on my skin. Rashes, the things that comes on the skin when you have a disease or problem. I went to a doctor and he thinks I have developed an allergy to my cat. I've had my cat Rosie for years, ever since she was a kitten. I don't want to take her to the local shelter as my doctor suggested. Can you think of a better option for me? Sneezing, Sacramento. Now, what problem does sneezing have? What would you advise him or her to do? His problem that he is sneezing because of an allergy to a cat, and he wants to do something rather than taking the cat to the local shelter. This is a suggested answer. Sneezing has developed an allergy to his cat, and his doctor advised him to give the cat to the local animal shelter. I would advise him to give the cat to a close friend or a relative who might want it. Now we are going to study how to write a letter of giving advice. When you write a letter giving advice, follow the outline below. You should start with greeting, then opening paragraph, the main part, the closing paragraph, and signing off. In the greeting, use the person's first name or pseudonym. Pseudonym means his nickname. In the opening paragraph, refer to the problem and say why you are writing. Of course, this is in most of the letters. When you write letters, you should say why you are writing in the opening paragraph. And in the main part, which is either 1 or 2 paragraphs, give your advice and make suggestions. And in closing paragraph, make a final comment. After that, you should sign off. Your signature ending and your name below that. Assessment. Read the letter and the rubric below. What advice would you give exhausted? I have a very busy schedule and it seems I never have enough time to do all the things I need to do. I never see my family because with schools, football practice, and part-time job, I don't have enough time. I'm always exhausted and never have enough energy. No matter how much I sleep, I don't feel like it was enough. Sometimes I'm even sleepy in class. Please help me figure out how to reorganize my life. I can't go on like this anymore. Exhausted, El Paso. Readers are asked to write letters to advice, and these letters are often published. So this person, this boy, asking us for advice, and you're going to write advice with many others, and your answers will be published. Write a letter to the person above, giving him advice on how to deal with the problem. Begin your letter with Dear Exhausted. When writing an informal letter giving advice, address the writer of the letter in a friendly way and use informal language. Include various suggestions to help solve the problem. Use appropriate expressions to give advice and make suggestions. When writing an informal letter giving advice, in the opening paragraph, you can start with, "Was sorry to hear that you've got problems," or "I hope that the following advice will help you," or "I've thought about your problem quite a lot." In the main part, you can start with, "I think," or "Maybe you should or you shouldn't," "If I were your position," or "If I were you, I'd." "I strongly advise you to," "One thing you can do is," and you can write your suggestions after these phrases. In the closing paragraph, you can start with, "I hope everything goes well. Good luck. Let me know everything turns out. There is no need to panic. You will get over it. Everything will be just fine. Don't forget to keep in touch." Now, you should write a letter of giving advice. Use the previous tips for writing a letter of giving advice. Take your notebook and your pen and try to do it now. This is the summary of today's lesson. Today, we said that when you write a letter giving advice, follow the outline below. Greeting, use the person's first name or pseudonym, which is nickname. In the opening paragraph, refer to the problem and say why you are writing. In the main part, give your advice and make suggestions. In the closing paragraph, make a final comment, and signing off, use signature ending and your name below that. And you said when writing an informal letter giving advice, address the writer of the letter in a friendly way and use informal language. include various suggestions to help solve the problem. Use appropriate expressions to give advice and make suggestions. These are references and resources. And for more information and listen, you can visit our website, or you can contact our Twitter account or call us on our free phone. Thank you for listening. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.